everybody. Welcome to the United Stand. Ten Hag has been sacked by Manchester United. I was literally getting a coffee from the morning show and it is over. I'm absolutely gutted. What a horrible decision. Ineos out. I'm joking, of course. Look, this is football. It's sad, but actually I'm very glad that last night I sort of accepted it because I think it's just time. You can defy it. As I said, I think whether you've been Ten Hag out for months or whether you've just accepted it in the last 24 hours, I think everybody's on the same page that it just couldn't continue in this situation. This feeling of depression, this feeling that the club wasn't going anywhere. I think there's multiple things for us to talk about. I think you could start to argue that certain players now surely have to be looked at as how many managers have they actually played for and played consistently bad for, but it's always going to be the manager that gets sacked. You can't sack Marcus Rashford. You can't sack Bruno Fernandes. You can't sack Casemiro. You can't sack Harry Maguire. You can't sack Johnny Evans. And I'm just throwing random names there. You can't sack Garnacho. You sack the manager. That's the way it's always going to be. There is a club statement that's come out. I'm just going to read that. But I think the first person I'm going to shout out is that obviously Romano hinted at it, but I think it was David Ornstein who had it, that Manchester United have sacked Erik ten Hag. He's been informed this morning, and Ruud van Nistelrooy will be the interim coach, which actually raises an interesting question from what we're talking about this morning. I do not think that is a good idea long term. We are writing off the season under Ruud van Nistelrooy. It's weird. It's really weird, isn't it? But look, this is the statement from Manchester United. Erik ten Hag has left his role as Manchester United's men's first team manager. We are grateful to Erik for everything he's done during his time with us. Wish him well for the future. Ruud van Nistelrooy will take charge as interim coach, supported by the current coaching team, whilst a permanent head coach is recruited. That makes me feel like that's a short-term fix with Ruud van Nistelrooy. Remember, we've been in that position before with Ryan Giggs, with Michael Carrick. I don't think in October, this is the first, can I just say as well, breaking news, this is the earliest Manchester United have ever sacked a manager in a season. Like, Ron Atkinson lasted longer than this. I'm talking about his job at Man United. Also, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Mourinho, they went November, December. So it is the earliest role. Millsy says, do we read anything to the fact that he's left his role? I don't know. I mean, ultimately, as fans, we can dissect. I think it would be remiss and wrong not to say thank you to Erik ten Hag for the 2 trophies. Ultimately, a few sentences about what I think about Ten Hag. Look, when Mourinho went, I felt it was the right decision. And when Ten Hag has gone, I think it's the right time. Time has been very good on Jose because Man United have not recovered, really. If Man United sack Ten Hag and go on to better things, then maybe time will be kinder on Ten Hag because we'll be happier and we'll go, look, he played his part, we won 2 trophies. If United long-term get worse, then time will be even kinder on Erik ten Hag. Will his legacy be that it was, a bad ownership and bad players that cost him his job? Or will his legacy be that, he wasn't quite good enough? And I think the truth at the moment is that you would combine all of those things. It was time to go. I mean, look, I accept it. I don't even feel as sad as how I feel. And I would ask you, how I feel is the same way I felt after Spurs in the international break. Sorry, after Villa after the international break. I felt like it's a weight lifted. I think doing this on this community, but also the wider Man United fan base, it's been so bad and so toxic, and it shouldn't be like that. We shouldn't be as angry and abusive towards each other as it has been. So I think something had to change, and the results weren't changing. They weren't offering any optimism or hope. So the club has to drive that. Ultimately, every mood around this fan base is dictated to by players, managers, and the owners, and the results on the pitch. And it's just not been good enough. And the fan base has bore the brunt of that. And ultimately, whether you wanted him to go or you didn't or whatever, have you been happy over the last few weeks? No. And it's got to a point where it's like, all right, it's a Michael Oliver VAR decision and we should have put the ball in the back of the net. And some people might look at it and go, so you're telling me if Delot scores that goal and we win that game, he doesn't get sacked? No, he wouldn't have been sacked. If we'd have won yesterday, he wouldn't have been sacked, but we lost. So you can't look at it as one game. It's not because Delot didn't score. If he'd beat West Ham, he would have carried on. But we're 14th in the league after 9 games. This has been going on for a long time. So I think fair play to Ineos that they've acted that quick. They have to act quick. They've got to act even quicker now. The Ten Hag era is over. They've now got to show us what the new era is, because what the new era cannot be is Erik Ten Hag and Manchester United. Sorry, what the new era cannot be is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I don't mean Ole, I mean that era. Ruud comes in, we win a couple of games, and the fans have a responsibility here as well. Like, what I do not want to do, and I'm responsible as well, is I do not want us to win the next 3 games and then everyone go Ruud's at the wheel. Like, we've been down that road before. It cannot be Ruud van Nistelrooy as Man United's saviour. It can't. A new manager with a new manager bounce, with these same players, we've been here before. We can't do that again. So I would hope that this club completely and utterly ignores what happens with Van Nistelrooy and moves very, very quickly to make a change. If I was Manchester United now, in fact, I would demand it. I would be on the phone to Nagelsmann. I would be on the phone to Amorim. I would even be on the phone to Emery. I mean, look, I'm not disrespecting Germany, Sporting or Aston Villa. I would be on the phone to those managers just to see. Ange, if you want, whoever. Ancelotti. I'd be on the phone to every single one of them. And and if they go, look, no, it's not for me, the phone goes down. But one of them might just go, you know what? I actually want that job. That's what they need to be doing now. What they can't do is, we've got rid of Ten Hag and we're just going to stick with Ruud till the summer and see what's about. You've got to go on the front foot. And they've gone on the front foot this morning, I think. They've made the decision. I don't think that they were wrong to stick with him in the summer, and I don't think they were wrong to stick with him in the international break. Remember, they've broken the record for sacking a Man United manager this early. We've never sacked a manager in October. So I think they've given the opportunity, they've given the time. Some would say they've given him the rope to hang himself in relation to his managerial career at Manchester United. But I think you've got to take everybody with you, haven't you? And yes, the media have played a big part in their anti-Ten Hagism probably from day one. But more importantly, there's been a movement of Ten Hag out from the fan base for quite a while. But it wasn't a majority. And I think that over recent weeks, you've got to a point now where there isn't going to be a United fan out there this morning going, that's a mistake. And it gets to a point where I was last night on the show where I said, enough is enough. Like, they've got to make a change. And the only change they can really make is to sit the manager down and say, pick Agate, put Ahmad on the wing and tell him what to do, which you can't do that. So you've really got to say it's over. And I think that the fact that they've done it really, really quickly, they had to do it in today or tomorrow, is the right thing. I'm very interested to see what they're going to do next. I think there's going to be so much news, but I want a momentum here. They've gone out and got Barada from Man City. They've gone out and got Ashworth from Newcastle. They've gone out and got Wilcox from Southampton. They've got Favell in. They've brought people in from other places. Now, the biggest appointment is going to be what you can do with the manager, because it cannot, for me, and I'm behind Ruud, I back Ruud, I don't dislike Ruud, but it can't be Ruud van Nistelrooy. You can't take a guy who had one season at PSV just because he was an ex-Man United player and give him this job because he has a good start. We've done it with Solskjaer, and it was the biggest mistake we made, giving him a 3-year deal. We know that this team's capable of bouncing back, but as a fan base, we mustn't fall for it. As I said last night, if we go and beat Chelsea 3-0 next Sunday playing brilliant football, I'll be fuming. I'll be fuming with these players that can switch it on and off. We need to restructure this whole football club. There are certain players that obviously need to be removed, and they have to be removed. And now the next managerial appointment has got to be elite, and it's got to be longer term. They gave Erik Ten Hag time, and it wasn't their guy. So they've got to pick the right guy, and they've got to go for the right length of time. And there's only so many managers I think can work there. And if you look at every other club in the Premier League that's successful at the moment, and I know it's a short period of time for Liverpool, but Arne Slot looks like he's a project manager for Liverpool that suits what they want to do, chosen by them. Aston Villa with Emery, it's been 2 years of relentless success, chosen by them, where everybody's on the same page. You can also say that Brighton have had that going on for years, where they bring right people in that are on the same page as them and they work towards a common goal. Arsenal with Arteta brought their guy in. Many people compared Ten Hag to Arteta and said, well, look, it wasn't going well, give him time. It's the same as comparing Ten Hag to Sir Alex Ferguson. That was 1989, and that was the owner's man. The big thing about the Arteta argument, when you deep it down, is that Arsenal chose Arteta. Manchester United chose Sir Alex Ferguson. Ineos didn't choose Ten Hag. They now have to choose their Arteta, their Sir Alex Ferguson, their Emery, and it's got to be somebody that excites and ignites this fan base. For me, I'd be on the phone to Nagelsmann. I think I said that back in April when I didn't want Ten Hag to get sacked. That's the only one that sort of gave me any excitement. And that's what the fan base needs. We need excitement. The season's probably fucked, if I'm being honest. We're not going to get top 4, but we could still win the Europa League. So you've got to bring somebody in. To me, it's not a bad time to do it, because the fan base now, the great thing about now, if you're looking for a positive, if you're feeling a bit lost, is that whatever's been going on is over. That bad feeling that's been, occupying your mind or frustrating you, however long it's been there, it's gone. I said this in the international break. If they sack Ten Hag in the international break, at least that argument's gone. At least we're not waking up every morning to some twat on TalkSport or Sky going absolutely mad about some bullshit, talking about Man United. At least in the live chat, it's not just, get this bold fraud out and everything like that. That's gone. It's over. So are we not all on the same page now? We dream the same dream. We want the same thing. So Goldbridge, that's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel. Click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact, smash a like on the video, because we all know only legends like videos, and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video, and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching, as always.